Hey everyone, it's Corey here and welcome back. So this is part two of this facelift construction project. We are morning of day number 3, so nothing's been done yet. Let me go ahead and give you a tour of the room right here behind me and show you what progress has been made. All right, we are in the room. Doesn't look like much, I know, on camera, but if you notice, all of the paneling behind me is a little dull. That's because the entire room has been sanded. And it was a project, not gonna lie. That's what the past 2 days, even though in all fairness, I did not get a full day yesterday. I only got about 4 hours in. But nevertheless, this whole room, living room, which is right behind me, dining room, which is right over here, has been sanded down. As we're moving to the kitchen here, you're gonna see all the cabinet doors have been taken off. All the frames for the cabinets have also been sanded. They are turning out fairly decent, and I apologize, the lighting is very weird right there, but they're turning out very decent. I'm not being able to strip them down as much as I really wanted to give them actually a new stain color for the upper cabinets, but nevertheless, it's gonna work out, I know that. However, because this is a quasi-construction project, things have been found. So let me spin the camera around and give you a more in-depth look at what's been found, what I'm going to do, at least in my mind right now. Like, I'm not real sure. But let me give you a more in-depth look, and we'll discuss ideas, so to speak, throw them out there and see what actually works out. Okay, so let's talk about the good first, and we'll start with the kitchen. The good is the cabinets are in actually great shape. There's a little bit of, I'm going to point out right down here, there was some chipping along the bottom edge of these cabinets where they had ran maybe something against it or something caught it over the years. That's all been filled in. Upper cabinets were in really great shape. Countertops are what they are. I've looked all around. They're really in decent shape as well. I went ahead and removed, let's look up here. There was a panel here of countertop. That came off, and that's a good and bad. It came off, it looks amazing now. However, there was some bad there. We've also removed the upper cabinet doors on this side above the stove, and everything lower on this side as well. Everything's been sanded in this kitchen. Like I said previously, so that's the good. The cabinets are in great shape overall. All right, let's talk about the bad in here. The bad is these upper cabinets. I was wanting to pull off the finish and the stain to lighten them up. I used a stripper here on the countertop, you'll see. Something I've used lots of times in the past with massive success. It did not work. You can kind of see the blotchiness here where it stripped off some, but it did not strip off enough to make this a doable option. So I'm going to have to play with some stains to try to save the original color that it is right now, or previous to sanding, I should say, and just keep it that very honey color, because I'm not going to be able to lighten those cabinets with stain like I'd planned. This panel here that's now gone, that was, honestly, it looks great now, but probably a mistake. It took me hours to get the glue off of that area. It was glued up with construction adhesive, and I had to use a heat gun and a scraper and scrape and scrape and scrape, and it probably took about 2 hours worth of time. You'll see over here, actually, let me spin around. You'll see over here, this used to have a panel up here, just like it did down there, or does down there. I took it off because I wanted to actually remove this entire cabinet. That is not going to happen. After getting into it, I realized that they have actually ran, you can see there's a plug and a wire there. That is for some under cabinet lighting, and it goes up into the ceiling and connects to I don't know where. So that is going to have to stay somehow or another. The other problem is, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get it on camera, maybe. If you can see in there, you can kind of see that there is obviously sheetrock. The problem lies in the fact that the ceiling texture in this room that's been retextured, of course, does not match underneath there. So if I do remove this cabinet, it's going to require me to retexture the ceiling under that area and then try to hope that it matches. So probably going to end up leaving this entire cabinet here and just turning it into open shelving. Not my favorite. I may still find another solution, but at the moment that looks like the only solution. Moving into the overall living room area, I had really hoped to have just taken and used a cleaner. There's cleaners that you can use to take off shine and kind of the oils, the greases, that kind of a thing. It didn't necessarily work. I ended up having to sand this entire room with some 120 grit sandpaper and an orbital sander. You can see over here the sand marks. That added significant hours to the project. Nevertheless, it's all sanded. It's been 2 days. Like I said, this is the morning of the third day. It's been 2 days and progress has been made. So today's goal is to start throwing up paint. All right, so that is it as of right now. I'm gonna start working. I'm gonna start painting, getting paint on the walls, and working through some of the details. My goal is to get this entire space painted today. Probably a pretty lofty goal, but it's a goal. We'll see how it works. So thank you. Stay tuned for the next part of this series and the progress that's being made. Thank you for tuning in.